Why are you here today?
I am here to further learn about the movement of the Civil Rights Movement in 1965 and to see the opening of a great center that will really help others to understand the struggle that blacks have had in the past and hope that they will also carry the torch on and to see that we have not, we have made some grounds, but there are more grounds to be made in order to further this movement that still need to have work done.
You had the guts to get involved as a little girl in the civil rights movement, and your mother here had the guts to allow you all to get involved. Now you tell me, where did you get those guts from, all that grit?
All that grit, I could say, came from my mentor, Timothy Mays, which is deceased right now. Timothy introduced me to the movement. Timothy explained a lot of things to me that I didn't understand as a young girl during that time, what all the commotion was going on. At that time, I didn't quite understand what was really happening.
How old were you?
Maybe 12 or 13.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe 12
now,
or 13.
Give that mic to Mama, because I want to hear how Mama had the nerve to let her children get out there and get involved in that march.
Got nerve and still got nerve. Because whatever going down, I wasn't afraid. And I went out there too. But I was afraid for my son, Timmy, so he told me, Mama, don't worry. So I'm not afraid. I told him I'm not afraid neither. So this white man asked me, you ain't scared? You got this white man living with you? I told him, you can come live with me. I'm not afraid of nobody. Because one thing about it, I told him like this, if you kill me, you're not going to eat me.
Would that march from Selma to Montgomery have been successful had it not been for citizens like you along the way?
Well, along the time, it wasn't. Because the only time I got changed to vote when the civil rights people come in there. Before that time, they asked me about voting. I went over there to Hamble, and the man asked me how many seeds was in a watermelon. I told him I wouldn't know.
You have got to be kidding.
Oh, yes, he did. And I never will forget, he asked me how many watermelon seeds was in a watermelon. And I told him I wouldn't know. Did you know how many in there? I said, you cut it and count them, and then you tell. I said, I ain't cutting that. I said, I don't know how many in there, because some watermelon got more seeds. How many grains of corn on a cob? Yeah, it's all kind of stupid questions.
Was that degrading? How did that make you feel as a black woman when you knew that you had a right to vote?
It really didn't make me feel no way. And I wasn't afraid. So I went to a PTA meeting about to Mobile. So this lady, she passed and gone now, Elizabeth Jackson, and the Dr. Henderson, there's John Jackson's sister, and Miss Sarah Logan. They asked, would you go vote? And I told them, I said, where is they voting? They said they voting over the Hamburg first Sunday, after the first Sunday, and the third Sunday. I said, well, who'll take me? I said, if you take me, I'll go. They said, we scared because we got a job. I told them, I said, if y'all take me, I'll go vote. And she said, you'll go? I said, yeah, I'll go vote. They said, we got a job. I said, well, I ain't got no job. I said, if you take me, I'll go vote. But I went over there voted, but they asked all kind of stupid questions, but believe me, I answered.
Was your husband supportive also? Or did you have to buck him to be that bold?
Well, he was there. But when I went to vote, he wasn't there. But I stood up. I always stood my ground.
All right, and sister, let sister have that mic. How old were you during this period of time?
18.
Were you a bold, bad mama, or were you scared?
I wasn't scared.
How you wasn't? You got that
No,
from mama, huh?
I got it from my mama.
What's your interpretation of the days back then now? When you come here today and look at this history, what do you think? What do you feel?
That is sliding a little bit back.
You're worried?
Yeah, I'm worried for the next generation.
So what must we do?
They gotta get involved and do more into the movement.
You was telling me a very interesting story about the young black man that Miss Liuzzo was transporting back from the Civil Rights Trail toward Selma. Tell me about that situation.
We were when we had finished with the march, had marched to Montgomery, and we were put on trucks to be brought back to we supposed to have been put off here at, they used to call it the fork of the road right down here where we live, but instead we was coming out of Montgomery. When we got, like, I guess it was Lounsburg there, we saw this young man waving down the truck, and when he got on this truck, he said that a lady had gotten shot, and we didn't know whether he was shot, because once he got on that truck that night, he like passed out or something, and we were all thinking that at that moment we were all goners. And I remember my cousin and I getting down. When we got down on the truck, we started praying and hoping to God that they didn't shoot at this truck, because we really didn't know what was going on. And we came, instead of dropping us off up here, they took us all the way back down to Brown Chapel. And my thing is, I really would like to know what happened to that young man.
That would be very interesting, wouldn't it?
I really would like to know.
Now I find it interesting that you say that some of the trucks wouldn't pick him up. Tell me about that.
Well, we were told that the other trucks, I can't recall how many trucks left there that night with us on it when we was coming out of Montgomery, but I knew that there were trucks in the head of us. How many, I don't know. Because remember, I'm telling you that at that age, I was really young. You're just hearing bits and pieces and picking up bits and pieces of what was going on. So I don't know. Maybe they was afraid to pick him up. I don't know. It's just my theory. I don't know. But I just know that we were, and then they didn't really stop to pick him up. They slowed down. And someone lifted him up over and brought him up into the truck, because we didn't really
So he had
stop.
to hop the truck,
He
so
had
to speak.
That's it. He had to hop. He was running and someone pulled him in. And that's when he said to us that lady had gotten shot. We were like panicking. Someone started telling us, say, I want you guys to lay down. I want you guys to get down, and you're going to be real quiet. Because at that point, we thought if they were out there, they was going to shoot at us too.
Okay.
But yeah.
And when did you learn the news that Miss Liuzzo had been shot?
That was the next day. That was the next day when they talked about that lady that had been shot. It was all on the news that lady had been shot, and we knew that guy was the one that was in the car with her, because he said when he got on that truck, he said a white lady had been shot. Yeah.
It's really interesting that we've never heard anything about that young man.
Right.
Yeah, that would be a very interesting thing to pursue.
Right. I would like to know, is he still living, or can he recall anything? I haven't read anything. Maybe it is something out there that we haven't read, though. It might be out there.
This many years later, your sister is worried. Are you worried, too, about the state of Black America at this point?
Yes, I am still worried. Yeah, because I feel like I'm hoping that the young people don't think that there have been changes. I'm not going to say there haven't, because you and I both know that there have been changes.
Definitely.
But what I feel is though someone got to, like this center open today is showing them what has happened in the past. And someone got to keep information going to them to let them know that even though we feel as though we have overcome, there are other ways that could be, let me see what word I want to use. There are still a long way to go, and that we got to be watchful and prayerful, because of the fact that we are really not really free as we think we are.
Let me talk to Mama again.
Okay.
Mama, are you worried about the state of Black America today?
No, I'm not worried at all. Because just like I said, whatever the Lord intent, what the hell they gonna have me, what ain't gonna have me, not gonna have me.
Okay, now you and your husband was bold enough to get involved back then. Were you middle class then, or what was your class level then as a family?
Well,
Would you have been a middle class family?
well, I would say the middle class.
You could say middle class, we own our own property.
Okay.
We didn't work for white. My father wasn't allowed to work for white people.
Okay, okay.
And the Ku Klux, they come with the guns and everything. Are you afraid? I said, no, I'm not afraid. And I mean, they marched down the road with the guns. But honey, when these civil rights was in here, Scotty B and all of them, Jimmy Rogers and all of them, got they come borrow my daddy, my husband's pistol. And he kept it, so my husband was going to bring my pistol back. He brought that pistol back, and I got that pistol today.
All right, so you was a pistol packing mama,
Well,
and you was going to take care of whatever business necessary, right?
Who? I didn't get back no for and didn't knock me. I didn't care who you was. You talk to me right, I can talk to you right. But if you step out of bounds, I'm going to let you know how I feel.
All right. Now, and women kind of had an advantage there. You all could do that, but men couldn't do that,
I
could
already
they?
know that.
During that time?
Because I know there was some white men around here with tough. But honey, I was just as tough as they was. I wasn't scared of man.
All right.
I really feel proud of my parents because they allowed us to become part of the movement, you know, and we weren't
And that
afraid.
took a lot of guts, didn't
That
it?
took a lot of guts, and I remember, like I told her, I remember when some of the, I guess they were from like Stokely Carmichael, Scotty B, and a lot of them that was at the house during that
John
time.
Lewis in that bunch?
You know what?
Right.
I don't know who all, because at that point I was a young lady, I don't know, but I knew she had a lot of them there. I remember when something happened, I don't know what happened, and they all rushed in. And she had all of us in the house. And that was another time I was kind of afraid too, because I didn't know whether they was gonna bomb the house, and something had happened. And I remember when all of those guys from Sneak and all of them, they came and they met in the house. I remember seeing guns, and I was afraid, and I didn't know what was going, what was going on. And all I know, they told us to take us somewhere, and all of us was to get down and lay down in there. I remember a lot of that stuff that was happening during that time that we was there.
Right.
So it was some scary times, you know.
Amen.
Yeah.